What if communication wasn't about how loudly or skillfully we speak, but about the depth of what we share? What if silence itself carried more meaning than noise? In this episode, we'll explore Old Billy's reflection on the communication of smile and silence, a meditation on the power of presence, the flow of water, and the joy of the liberated smile. Stay with us and let's discover together how to listen with our ears, our hearts, and even with our silence.
May this journey remind us that love, joy, and beauty are already present in every moment, waiting to flow through us like a spring of water.
When the fog descended, silence settled over the village after the discovery of Old Billy's departure. His notes were left stacked, serving as entertainment for the locals who chose to share them with others.
Number 037, Communication of Smile and Silence. The vocation to communicate can be greater or lesser among us, and this ability can also vary from time to time depending on our state of mind, but what really makes the difference is having something to pass on to others. The content of the message matters much more than the quality of the communicator. Shyness and insecurity tend to hinder our performance, but if we have something special to say, all those locks open to allow us to function properly, loosening the brakes and letting things happen at a healthy pace. The opportunity to become a spring of water helps us flow naturally in a very special way and allows silent contact with everything and everyone at the same time. Silence carries more data than we can imagine. It knocks on doors without disturbing anyone. It doesn't create mental conflicts. And those doors that open will receive more of the best life has to offer. The other doors will receive the same at another time, when they are thirsty and ready to learn about the spring of water within all of us. The spring of water brought us the liberated smile of life as it flows, and the integrity combined with joy and gratitude for accepting to be water, communicating life at every moment. This movement leads to a consistent elevation of frequency, altering the way we think and believe. It's as if we've just arrived in this world, not having our own past or interest in the past of others. And the future? It's all right. We will be here, existing in this clean and sustainable frequency of the free smile. There is no conditioning in any particular way to transmit the freedom of meeting one's own soul. Water invades us with its clean, refreshing life, and within it, we also perceive the pulse of the heart of life itself, everything full of fragrance, color, and flavor, as a way of gifting the best love that is noticeable in the songs of birds and the sound of stones rolling playfully along the riverbeds. By now, everyone can perceive the beauty of the mornings and the affection the sky has for the earth. We no longer need to communicate about the perfect orbit of the planets. It is no longer necessary to measure or perform complex calculations to gather evidence that life exists. All that touches us is to make a direct connection with the parts and celebrate the results of the joy of learning to speak with our ears. This is the communication that life has always waited for from us and that now helps us practice through the open hearts of smiling spring of water.
This text is a beautiful meditation on the deeper aspects of communication, using metaphors and imagery to express a philosophical perspective on how we connect with others and the world. I think it would be appropriate to let our friend Lewis Lull share his thoughts on this particular text. As an advertising executive for many years, he certainly has a good perspective on the subject.
Thanks, Brian. I was anxious to participate. An advertising executive would likely interpret this text through the lens of branding, emotional appeal, and storytelling. Core themes and messaging. Authentic communication. The text emphasizes that true communication is about having something meaningful to share, not just being a skilled speaker. This aligns with modern advertising, where authenticity beats empty marketing jargon. Emotion-driven connection. The imagery of water, silence, and a liberated smile suggests a brand ethos focused on natural flow, ease, and deep emotional resonance. It could be tied to mindfulness, wellness, or a premium, feel-good product. The power of simplicity. The passage suggests that silence is as powerful as speech, which could inspire minimalist, impactful ads. Think of Apple's sleek, wordless commercials or Nike's "just do it" approach, letting the product and emotions speak for themselves. Advertising applications. Luxury branding. A high-end brand, perfume, water, wellness retreat could use this philosophy to sell an experience rather than just a product. Mindfulness and wellness campaigns. The idea of flowing naturally and existing in a pure state could be the foundation for a meditation app, spa retreat, or even a mental health campaign. Eco-friendly and sustainable brands. The references to water, nature, and balance align with eco-conscious brands looking to market sustainability, purity, and harmony. Tagline and campaign ideas. Let life flow. A campaign for a premium water brand or wellness product. Silence speaks. A minimalist ad where the visuals tell the story, ideal for a luxury or mindfulness brand. Smile. Flow. Live. A brand built around effortless joy and presence. Final thought. An ad exec would see a poetic, sensory-driven manifesto here, perfect for a campaign centered on authenticity, emotional storytelling, and minimalist yet powerful branding.
Thanks, Lewis. This is an excellent analysis. Welcome to our group. It is enriching to be able to count on different perspectives. This shows how the environment influences people's points of view. And, if you'll forgive me, I'd like to recall an old Spanish saying, "Cada ladrón juzga por su condición. Every thief judges by their own condition." Wonderful. We need to be open to the maximum number of perspectives until we learn the importance of merging into consciousness to achieve a complete vision. Therefore, let's get Dr. Ada's point of view. I'm sure it will illustrate what I just said. Please, Doctor, show us your analysis.
Sure, John. Here's my analysis of some of the key themes and ideas. 1. Communication beyond words. The central message of the text suggests that effective communication goes beyond the quality of the communicator or the method of transmission. Instead, it focuses on the content, the message that is being communicated. The author emphasizes that if we have something meaningful to share, our insecurities or shyness become less relevant, allowing us to communicate authentically. This idea stresses the importance of having substance in communication, rather than relying solely on technique or style. 2. Silence as a powerful form of communication. The text beautifully explores the power of silence as a form of communication, describing it as a force that flows naturally and speaks without disrupting. Silence is portrayed as an effective tool for connection because it carries more data than we can imagine, allowing for deeper understanding without conflict. It is an invitation to listen and observe, suggesting that through silence, one can make meaningful connections and convey deep truths. Silence here is not empty. It is full of potential and wisdom. 3. The spring of water metaphor. The spring of water serves as a central metaphor in the text, symbolizing the natural flow of life and communication. Water, as a symbol of purity, vitality, and continuity, is associated with the essence of being and the expression of life. By describing communication as a spring of water, the author conveys that true communication is like water, fluid, natural, and refreshing. It's a communication that is effortless and life-affirming, enabling both the communicator and receiver to feel nourished. 4. Elevating frequency and presence. The idea of elevating frequency speaks to the notion of being attuned to a higher state of being, one where we are present in the moment, free from the burdens of the past or concerns about the future. This ties into the concept of being in tune with the clean and sustainable frequency of the free smile. This state of being reflects an openness to life as it is, a freedom from attachment or anxiety, and an embrace of the present moment. 5. Connection with nature and the universe. The text also highlights the interconnectedness between humans and the natural world. It speaks of the beauty of mornings, the affection the sky has for the earth, and the songs of birds. This connection to nature elevates the experience of communication to something deeply spiritual, where we no longer need complex explanations or measurements to understand the profound truths of existence. Communication, in this sense, is less about words and more about being attuned to the rhythms of life. 6. Open hearts and the joy of being. The concluding sentiment of the text reflects the joy of existence and the freedom of communicating from a place of open-heartedness. The smiling spring of water metaphorically represents the liberated self, one that is connected to life, free from constraints, and filled with joy and gratitude. Communication from this place is about sharing and receiving love, much like the unspoken communication in nature, the birds' songs, the rolling stones. Conclusion. Overall, this text conveys a message of connection, freedom, and purity. It urges us to recognize the importance of the content of our communication, to embrace silence as a form of powerful connection, and to tap into the natural flow of life and love that surrounds us. Through the metaphor of water, it paints a picture of communication as an organic, life-sustaining force that nourishes and connects all beings, offering a vision of a world where we communicate not just with words, but with our hearts and presence.
John, before your closing, allow me to share something I read this week that seems to add to your comment. The pessimist sees the cup as half empty, the optimist sees the same cup as half full. So far, there's nothing there that everyone hasn't read before, right? But what caught my attention was what followed. And the engineer sees it as an oversized project, a waste of materials.
Thanks, Dr. Ada. As usual, you've captured the core themes and beautifully articulated the text's philosophical depth. Ivy, your addition to my comment confirms that you are indeed in sync with the essential content of Old Billy's notes. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, everyone.